Hello, love. So excited to be back with you. I'm excited. I mean, here we are. It's getting to the end of January, but you know how time flies. It's been raining here in Arizona, which is awesome. I know. I do like the rain. It doesn't rain here very often, so I don't like to necessarily be out in it, but I for sure won't complain about it. And I do like listening to it, and I like the smell of it too. So I hope wherever you are, it starts warming up a little. I know it's been so cold all over the country if you're listening to this as this releases. So I want to tell you, ladies, there's one more class, January 30th. It's the last time I'm going to do this webinar, this free class, 3 secrets to consistency and weight loss. It's so good. You don't want to miss it. So we'll put the link in the show notes, but you can go to beeflightcoaching.com/3, the number 3 secrets, and you can register. And again, in this class, it's so good because, as I teach this and I've taught 2 of them, and, as I coach my transform bosses, everything about weight loss, we have just been sold a bill of goods. We think it's about the food or the exercise plan or, something external outside of us. And I tell you, it's our minds and what we think and what we believe and our feelings. And, from those 2 things, our thoughts and our feelings, we then take action. And I think we've learned it in reverse. We've learned it that if we take action, our feelings will then change and then our thoughts will change. But that's not how it works. We have to change what we believe and what we think so that we can feel differently, so we can do differently. And it's the miracle, I think, honestly, and the magic sauce is the mental work of weight loss and losing the mental weight. I was someone who struggled with losing weight for so long. And I, again, thought it was outside of me. And when I realized that it was inside of me and that it was my thinking and, my feelings and learning how to feel on purpose, everything changed. So if you have not come to one of my classes, you for sure want to. Again, I'm going to do this class one more time, January 30th. Do not miss out. So today I wanted to talk about exercise. I know, right? Have you ever just felt like, ugh, right? You tell yourself you're going to do it. I'm going to do my 10,000 steps. I'm going to do my things. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do the weights, all the things. And I think if you look at anything, I mean, if you look on Reels on Instagram or TikTok, I guess. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know, but I'm assuming you'll see like these, ladies in the gym doing the thing, right? And then you have these dreams of like, oh, if I could just exercise, I could lose this weight, And we've been told all these things about our metabolism and all the things. And what I believe has happened over time is that just like food plans and, dieting, exercise has just become kind of this diet trauma, diet culture thing that we start to tell ourselves that we hate exercise, we don't like it. And I agree. When I thought of it in that way, like exercise, I also too did not look forward to it, did not like it, and did not enjoy it. And I think there's a different way, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to tell you why I think the way that we've been, kind of programmed about exercise, why I think it hasn't worked, and then what to do and how to think of it so that you can start, if you want, moving your body. I know. And I think of exercise in a different way. I don't think of it as exercise. So I did a podcast episode on this about movement, and we'll link it in the show notes so that you can listen to that too, so you can hear how I feel about it. But I like to think of moving my body, and I'll give you a brief explanation. I think of movement. My body loves to move. It does. Have you ever sat in a chair too long and then you get up and you're like, ooh, right? Your body creaks, it aches. But then once you're in motion, your body's like, oh yeah, it feels better because your body does like to move. Movement is just part, right? If you ever watch a little kid or even not even like a toddler, like a younger kid, I mean, they're moving, they move a lot because our bodies really enjoy it. Our bodies were made to move. I think, we've done some things just like we've done with our views on food. We've done the same thing with our views on moving our bodies. And I think about this, the personal trainers and the gyms and the over exercising and three things that we do that make it kind of miserable. And the first one is we set unrealistic expectations. We do this because we think we can do more than we can. We don't meet ourselves where we're at. We make what I like to call an idealistic plan for movement instead of a realistic plan for movement because we have this dream of, the videos and all the socialization that we've seen. And, we want to be an athlete or whatever it is. I mean, really, like I want to run a 5K. I don't know, whatever it is, your dream. And what happens is we don't meet ourselves where we're at. And when we do that, then when we start, right, because of these unrealistic expectations, we end up doing more than we can and what our body's capable of. And so we start to have physical discomfort, even injuries, because we're doing more than what our body is ready for. And it's just, so then we just quit, we stop, we don't do it. And a lot of this too, with unrealistic expectations, we can, tell ourselves that, we can't, move and we can't do the things. And, I have these limitations and I'm older and all the things. But when you start to meet yourself where you're at, it's easy. It's when you don't meet yourself where you're at, when you have these, unrealistic expectations of where you are, because then you start beating yourself up. Oh, if you wouldn't have done this to your body, you'd be stronger. If you would have done this, if you would have, put this in practice a long ago, all the things. It's just nonsense, really, because it's not helpful. It's not helpful to think what you can't do. What is helpful is to think about what you can do, what you want to do, which leads me into the second, which is we do boring things we don't like to do. Like, I'll tell you, there are two things that I do not like when it comes in the form of movement. That is running and that is yoga. I do not enjoy either one. Now, I have friends who like running. I have friends who love yoga and love all the things. Awesome. I have tried it. I have tried both of them multiple times, and I just don't enjoy it. It's not fun for me. So I like to do things I enjoy. I love riding a bike. I love walking. I love doing fun things, learning things. So, like frisbee, disc golf, I love that. I love doing things with stability, right? Where I like stand on one leg. I like stretching, right? I like lifting some weights. I do. I enjoy it. And again, I'll tell you why I enjoy it and how I enjoy it in a minute, because it's really number three is why I can enjoy some of those things. But I think making it fun and trying new things, we don't do it enough. So we get bored or we don't like it or we don't enjoy it or we force ourselves to do it. And anytime you do that, you're going to give up pretty quickly. I mean, I tried running several times. Like I was gonna run. I was just like, I'm competitive too. So if you're competitive, you know what I mean. I'm like, one of my friends was doing, I was like, I can do it. I'm gonna do it. And oh my heck, I did it. Just- I just never liked it. I never liked it. It always felt a little too hard. And I just didn't like it. And so when you do things that you don't like, again, it just gives you another way to stop and to quit and to stop doing it. And then you label every movement as I don't like it. And then the third is we just set these unrealistic goals. We attach time and these data points, and we focus again on the data. So I need to do it for, let's just talk about lifting weights. I need to do 3 sets of 12 reps, or I need to run for 30 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever it is, right? I need to get 10,000 steps or 15,000 steps or 20,000 steps. And so we start to, again, have these unrealistic goals and we attach this data to it. And so it goes back to one, it's not that fun. And then two, there are some days where there might be some days where you're like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Ooh, you look down, you're like, ooh, I got my 10,000 steps in, I'm feeling good. And then there might be some days where you're like, oh, shoot, I had a day today and I got 5,000 steps in. And because you have this goal of, I have to hit 10,000 steps every day. I know I'm talking to you. You know who I'm talking to. And because of that, then you just feel like you're, not winning. You feel like you're failing and you start telling yourself a story and how it's so hard and all the things. And it's all because you attach this data as your success point. You attach data, a data point, so it could be time, amount of things, right, to your success. You didn't even think about, like, well, how will I feel? How do I want to feel while I do this? Right? Like, we don't think about that. We just think about, well, I've got to do it for this long and I have to do this much. And I have to do this every day or 5 days a week. And we just, again, we set these really high, unrealistic goals and too much commitment. If you're right now not doing much movement, and suddenly you're like, I'm doing it 5 days a week. I'm going to do it for an hour. I mean, you're just setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up. I just think there's a different way. And so, what to do? I like to think of the scale of movement of like 1 to like 1,000. So, one is, you're not doing much movement, just your normal, like, walking about, right? Doing your things around your house. If you work, maybe you work from home. So, really, you're sitting on your tail a lot. I've encountered that too. And so, we'll say that's the one. 1,000 is like an ultra runner, you know, right? Some marathon runner, right? They're just like obsessed and they're just like every day they're pushing themselves doing the thing, right? And you get to decide where you are, right? Maybe you're 10, maybe you're 20, maybe you're 100. I don't know. You decide. It's your scale. It's made up. No one's gonna, that's what I love. This is why, like, when I talk about perfectionism, I'm like, it's just a made up scale. So you get to decide. You make it up, whatever number you want to be at. And then the importance of understanding and just like thinking of a scale is so that you can inch instead of trying to go the mile. So if you're, say, you're like, Shannon, I think I'm like a 10 right now. Then instead of trying to go to 300, let's just go to 15. What's 15? And you're just making a step forward. You're just doing a little step forward. And I tell you, in the long run, it will get you much further, much faster than trying to go to 300 from 10. This goes back to number one, making a realistic plan of movement. Pick one area. Again, don't try to do all the things. This is, again, if you're not doing anything. If you're doing some movement, you're going to just like, you can increase, try something different. You can, add another piece in, right? You get to decide, but you just make a realistic plan. And you just, again, realistic is the key word here, not idealistic, not something that you're setting yourself up. And pick an area. I mean, there's lots of areas of movement. Maybe it's stretching or strength, building your strength, stability. I love stability. I love to like stand on one leg. I love to like do like walk 1 foot like toe to toe across the room, right? Again, balance. I love stability exercises. You could also, cardio. There's a bazillion things to do, right? Like where you kind of like get your heartbeat racing a little bit, right? Maybe it's dance, maybe it's walking, riding a bike, gardening. I mean, there's a bazillion things to do. Maybe it's like, I know a lot of you ladies are in winter and you're like, Shannon, I know, go walk the mall, right? Pop in a dance video. I mean, there's just so many things to do. And so it leads me to number two, make it fun. Try new things. I love to try new things. I love to see if I like it. I never take the first go at anything. I always like to try it 2 or 3 times, because sometimes my mind can be like, or maybe I wasn't feeling it that day, whatever it is. I like to try it 2 or 3 times to see, do I like it? Am I having fun? Can I have fun with this? I have a lot of ladies who like to like get in the pool and do, water aerobics. So there's just so many different things that you can do. And number three, lose the time. Just lose the time. I love riding my bike and I never think, ooh, I'm going out for 30 minutes today. I must get 5 miles in. I never think like that. I just don't. I just am like, oh, okay, I'm going to go get on my bike and I'm just going to go have fun. And I'm going to go outside and like see what's happening. And because when I don't put the time constraints and how far I'm going to go or anything. I just have fun and I stay in the moment of my body can ride a bike. I know I'm 52 and I can ride a bike. I think it's pretty darn cool. And so, ladies, whatever it is for you, wherever you're at, when you lose the time and the how much and da da, when I lift weights, this is why I love it. I love to focus and think about the muscle and think about how it's feeling as I'm lifting it. I don't think about how much. I don't think about how many reps. I don't. I just like lift. I listen to my body. And when my body starts to get tired, I'm like, okay, woohoo, we lifted some weights today, right? Which leads me into number four, celebrating the wins. Moving your body feels good, ladies. It feels good. And no matter where you're at, even if you're like, Shannon, I'm immobile, maybe it's moving your arms, maybe it's moving your hands, maybe it's moving your neck. Your body likes to move. Wherever you're at, your body likes to move. It doesn't like to stay in one position very long. I mean, even think about when you sleep at night. Very rarely, I think, are there people who are just like, I'm just going to stay in this one position all night long. I think most people move around a little bit. If you don't, your arm's going to fall asleep. Your leg will fall asleep, right? I mean, because our bodies were made to move. And so celebrate it. Celebrate that you can move your body. I love doing that. I love thanking my body. Thank you for, walking with me today. Thank you for riding the bike. Thank you. I just bought a pair of roller skates. I love roller skating, ladies. Now, I did get some advice to buy some knee pads. I'm going to. I get it. I'm a little older, but I love roller skating. And so, like, yes, ladies, like, I don't know, just have fun with it and celebrate it and celebrate what your body can do and focus on how your body feels rather than some data point. Ladies, movement, we were meant to move. We were meant to dance. We were meant to, move our bodies and feel amazing in them. And no matter where you're at today, you can feel that way. Yeah, it's possible for you. Now, if you're ready to start to lose the mental weight so that you can release the physical weight and just really dig into this work, then one, follow this podcast. So I'm always in your inbox your podcast library every Wednesday. You can get on my email list, go to beeflycoaching.com/email. And then, of course, come join us in Transform Boss Weight Loss. I mean, this is where we just take it to a whole new level. Yeah, we do this work. And really, honestly, ladies just change their lives. They start to heal and lose the mental weight so they can release the physical weight for good. I love it. Go to jointransformboss.com to check it all out. All right, my loves, I hope and wish you a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye for now.